Guys, we're gonna see if we can figure out where things are gonna sink or float, okay? So we have these items here, and do you guys remember what tally marks are? Tally marks are when we make a little line under something. So I have a ball here. I have sink and float. So whether you think it's gonna sink, you put a mark here. If you think it's gonna float, you put a mark here. You don't write numbers or anything, you just make marks so you can count how many marks to see which one got the most votes. Remember when we did that? So this is our ball. Fill the ball. Hand it to our churro. Now you guys get to decide if you think that's gonna float or if it's gonna sink. What do you think, Dawson? You think it's gonna float or sink?
Sink.
Sink. Okay, so you're gonna put one line right here under sink beside the ball. Okay? Just right here beside the ball. Okay, that's good.
It
That's
sounds
your mark.
squishy.
So do you think it's gonna sink or float?
I think it's gonna float.
You think it's gonna what?
Float.
Okay, so you put your one tally mark under float there. Anywhere you want right there, but under float for the ball. Okay, so now I'm gonna take the ball. Watch, my friends, you can come over here, closer. I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna drop it in. Let's see.
It's floating.
It's floating. So the one tally mark was correct. It's floating. So let's go back and see what else we have. Do you know what this is called?
It's a pad.
It is. It's made out of cork. Okay. So this is cork. Do you want to feel cork? Well, we'll get to that here. Do you think this was gonna sink or float? No. Do you think it's gonna sink or float?
Float.
Okay. Well, we gotta let our churro feel.
I think it's gonna sink.
Okay. So you're gonna put your mark here for sink, beside cork. No, right here beside cork.
No, I just put sink in. Cork.
And you think sink or float? Float? Okay, so put your mark right here. Under float.
No, I put sink in too.
You think it's gonna sink too? Or float? Okay, one for float, one for sink. Okay, come on over, let's drop it in the water, Arturo. You wanna drop it in? Okay, just drop it in.
No.
Is it sinking or floating?
Floating.
Floating. Okay, let's go back and see what our next one
How's
is.
it floating?
This we call a counter. It's a little piece of plastic. Feel that and see what you think.
I think it's gonna sink.
You're not even gonna feel it? Here, hold on. You gotta let Arturo feel it.
I think it's gonna sink.
You think it's gonna sink? Do you think it's gonna sink or float?
Oh yeah, because when
Okay,
stuff are big, they don't see.
When stuff is big, it doesn't sink, so you think sink or float? It's right here, the counter. This is sink, and then floats over here.
Wait, what is that?
It's a counter, yeah. So you think sink. Do you think sink or float? Float? Okay, then you're gonna put your mark under float over here, under counter. So what did you say about big things? Yeah. When we're done with all of our friends, we're gonna see.
I wanna put the counter.
Yeah, I'll let you put that one in. Come on over, Dawson. He's gonna put this one in. We're gonna see whether it sinks or floats. Hold on. What did it do?
It floats. I mean, it sinks.
What did you say about big things? You said you think big things go to the bottom? Is that what you said?
No, I said
They
big things float on the top of
big
the
things float, so you thought that one, let's not touch
like
it.
the
Yeah.
cork and
The ball. So they're floating because they're big, and you say that one's down in the water because it's small? It sunk because it's small? Okay, so let's find